Another rule of thumb for the older generation: never use speakerphone in public.
I'm laughing so hard because I decided I was going to take public transportation in Atlanta back to the airport because I heard it was the easiest way to get from where I was, and it was pretty easy. But I get on, and there was an older gentleman who I'm thinking is like 40, but he's got Rick Ross, just loud as can be. And then his phone rings, and I'm waiting. I'm watching him. I'm like, is he going to answer on speakerphone? I'm so excited. I want to listen to this whole conversation. But he didn't. So I'm like, okay, where do we draw the line here?
We can't just have all giants. What kind of small guys are
he's got to get him. He's got to get him.
We got to pack it up.
Because if we don't get it, somebody else is going to get it.
And drink straight out the bottle.
Cheers.
Welcome back, guys, to the Who F Knows podcast. I am the Patty V. We got the Dave Rainey over here. Thank you for joining us on another glorious, glorious week of another episode of the Who F Knows podcast. What are we at? Like
83.
3? I was close.
17 away from 100.
That's a callback, by the way. You guys don't even know what I'm talking about right now. There was the whole first season, which we don't even do seasons anymore, apparently. This guy just changed it all, and I'm cool that it actually I like it. I used to lose what episode we were on, like every dang episode. Yeah. So.
Another callback?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
The Willie Snead edition.
The Willie Snead edition. Let's go. I love it. Yeah, we used to call out random Saints players, or really any player we thought of that had that number.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
I love it. How you been, man?
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Not because life is crazy or anything. I had another oh shit, I'm old moment.
All right, tell me about it.
I went play basketball for the first time. Like, not just go and shoot. Like, I actually went play games for the first time in, it had to be at least 7 months.
Yeah.
Like, competitive games. And the last game, I went up for a shot and then, like, passed out of it. Came down, I pulled a muscle in my back. And it was at that moment I realized I could no longer just get off the couch and go do super athletic things. I jogged around a little bit, stretched a little bit beforehand, but not nearly enough for my age, apparently.
Yeah.
So now for this whole week, I can barely like lift the kids. Walking has been a struggle. There's not a lot of more debilitating injuries than like a back muscle.
Yeah.
That, and actually while we were playing, one of the guys jammed his thumb like at the beginning of the game. If you're playing basketball, that is the worst, I think. Like jamming a finger.
Or if somebody breaks your hand, that probably kind of sucked.
Yeah. Another callback. Dave broke my hand one time. A year later, we're still complaining about that.
Man, it hurt, and I I played in a rec league at the time, and I never told them until like way after. I could not hold a basketball very well. I couldn't catch a basketball very well, and it got to a point where like they would throw me the ball, and I would like fumble it. I just didn't have good hands anymore because these fingers were broken. Yeah. And I looked bad for a while. Yeah. It took me a minute to get that strength back. Anyways.
But yeah, I've spent the last week just like, Corny's looking at me like, I'm just weak as hell because I'm trying to like it's gotten slightly better because it's been like 3 days now. But like the first night after it happened, like I couldn't stand up straight. It hurt to breathe, and now I'm just like every like movement. Like if I'm laying down for a while, when I sit up in the mornings, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's so interesting that this is what you're coming in with, because this has kind of been the theme of the week for me too. Like I didn't get hurt, but I have seen others get hurt that are around my age or older. And we have talked about how old we are and how we cannot do certain things anymore. First of all, just flew back from Atlanta, so it has also been a week. I've been out of town for 3 days, and it was just go the whole time. And night one, you ever ridden a scooter like in another city? Like you rent a scooter and just putt around,
like a bird scooter.
Yeah, like a bird scooter. That's exactly what it was, actually.
I wanted to in Nashville, and Courtney was like, "Nah." So I couldn't just leave her.
Exactly. So I had never done it, and like I'm out with two of my buddies that I work with. I'm gonna leave them nameless because one of them ends up getting hurt. You can probably tell where this is going. We hop on bird scooters. We are flying down this greenway or whatever, this like little walkway in Atlanta, and we go to a really cool lounge. We're leaving, and we're at this point we've had a few drinks, and they're both like, "Nah, I don't know if we should ride the scooters." And me, I'm kind of like, man, I don't get the chance to do this very often. We rode him here. We're going to ride him back. So like I talk him into it. We all get on him. And one of my buddies is ahead of me because my scooter is broken for some reason. It's putt-putting. And he turns around to look at me. And I'm telling you, he loses control because he turns, right? And he's kind of buzzed a little bit. Scooter goes off to the right. He hits the grass and the rocks and just instantly like face down, feet up, laying straight on his shoulder. And I'm dying laughing at this point, okay? I am cracking up. Doesn't even cross my mind this man could be hurt. Didn't even think about it. Fortunately, he pops up and he's also cracking up laughing. First thing he thinks about are his shoes. He's like, oh, don't mess up my shoes. You know, it was hilarious. Anyways, long story short, he had to go to the doctor the next day because his shoulder's bothering him. And today I hop in a meeting with him and he's wearing a sling around his nothing's broken. He's okay. But, oh, man, it was a time.
Yeah.
It was a time.
We're just getting old. And like I used to be able to just roll out of bed and go do anything athletic.
Yeah.
Without stretching or nothing. Not even like that long ago. Maybe like a year or two ago. But what's crazy is like I've been probably consistent. This is probably like the most consistent like 6-month stretch of me like working out.
Yeah.
So I'm probably like the best shape I've been in a long time. But I guess because I'm not doing like basketball level activity. It just,
gotta keep moving.
It was just one bad movement is all. Now it just hurts to do literally anything. And my wife doesn't care. She just keeps.
Oh, no. My wife laughed at me before she was my wife. It was years ago. I was in the backyard. I was clearing out an area that used to be a swimming pool and making it like a little walk down fire pit. And it had some gravel. And this is loose gravel. It is not heavy. And I'm like lightly shoveling it. And for some reason on this day, my back decided, you know what? It's time. It's time. So I feel your pain with the back injury thing. Because when I tell you my back locked up, I had never known what a back spasm felt like, and I was done. Yeah. I was immediately like, oh my God, did I rupture something? Did I pull something? Like, what's going on? I went and laid down immediately, and it took me a minute to even figure out if I could lay like straight. Like,
dude, that's the word. I can't get comfortable in bed. It's killing me.
I feel for you.
Like, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping it was just a back spasm and I'd get over it. I tried to play another game afterwards, but it was more like me just walking around. I can walk straight. When I got to twist and turn is when it hurts. But, going back to like the scooter thing, I've never done the bird scooters, but when I was in high school, we went to I think my senior year of high school, we took instead of going on our senior trip, a few of us went to Panama, I think.
Yeah.
And we rented just like the mopeds.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah, that was the first time I had ever done it, and I was fine. Yeah, but like first, I don't know what happened. Just one time, I was trying to park it. And thankfully, I was the only one on it. I laid it down. I never got hurt, but I lost. It's like I just had like a brain fart for a second, and I just like gassed it when I shouldn't have, and it just lost it, and it just laid it down.
Goodness.
Luckily, they didn't notice any scratches when I returned it. None of that. So. We're good, but
they've probably seen worse. Like things have probably come back with like missing mirrors,
or not come back at all.
Yeah, or just not come back.
Somehow end up in the Gulf.
Jeez, yeah, that was fun. I did that in Destin once a long time ago. Just rented a little moped.
Dude, we were riding around at like 11 o'clock at night on the beach. Mm-hmm. It in the spring, it felt so good.
Oh yeah, that's a good time.
What a time. So I got a couple of things if you want to just keep going into this.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling, we briefly talked about this like in the last time we hung out. Airbnb announced Air B&B Icons.
Yeah.
Okay. You know kind of what they are, right?
Sure.
So anyway, I'll give you the definition. The Airbnb.
Tell me about it for
definition.
anybody that doesn't know. I know, but for the public.
Of course, yeah. Airbnb Icons are a new category of extraordinary experiences hosted by prominent figures in music, film, television, art, sports, and more, allowing guests to step into worlds they've only dreamed of.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, so a few examples. There's the Up House.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I'll be honest.
So there's the Up House. So I thought it was just houses, just like houses from movies. Mm-hmm. But there's more to it. So there's the Up House, the X-Men 97 house. You can do the Doja Cat experience.
What is that?
Guests can opt for a private performance and jam session from Grammy-winning artist Doja Cat. Okay. You can stay in what is essentially the Ferrari Museum, or a VIP experience in the Ferrari Museum.
Okay.
You can stay in Prince's Purple Rain house.
Ooh.
Or you can get, I didn't save it in this, but there's the like the Kevin Hart VIP experience. You get to just basically have a private hangout with him. Do any of those pique your interest? And if you can think of something, is there anything that you would, any house from a movie or anything like that you would want to be able to stay in?
I'll say this. I'm in a different season of life right now. A couple years ago, I would have, Doja Cat would have been the choice. Just because, come on. But yeah, no, not happening. I don't know. I think the Up House is intriguing. It's just cool. Fun. Like, it's cool. If I had to pick something else that is not listed, man, like, this sounds really creepy, but maybe like some random, like the Amityville Horror House.
Yeah, I was thinking, for some reason, like the first things that popped into my mind were like horror film houses too, and I don't know why. Like,
and it's funny because I say it, I ain't doing it. Yeah, I ain't doing it.
Like, I don't know that I want to do it, but it does seem like the one that, for some reason, that's the ones that keep coming into my mind. Yeah. Also, there's probably a few Disney houses or things. From
Smart
Disney.
House.
That'd be cool. There you go. I'm trying to think of other ones. There's, I don't know, like. Probably just like a house from like a show that I really enjoyed. Yeah. Like if you gave me the option to like go stay in the office, like set for the night, that'd be cool. I guess it's just an office, but like if all the stuff is there.
I feel like Airbnb has done this for a while. Maybe this is like, now this is official, but I remember like back in the day, there were like ballparks. Like you could literally Airbnb the Blue Wahoos Park and stay in the clubhouse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. On this list, I think I'd go with the Prince's Purple Rain house.
I don't know what it looks like.
So apparently it's from the, I guess from like a music video. I guess
Purple Rain music video.
Yeah, I'm assuming because it says to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the cult classic, fans can stay in Prince's Purple Rain house in Minneapolis, Minnesota, featuring authentic memorabilia and unreleased tracks. So it's either like his
unreleased tracks. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think you also. I saw another list. I think you also get like a recording session. I don't like. Clearly, he's not there.
Yeah,
but like, do you get to like? Is it like a situation where you're getting on like the rock and roller coaster and you're seeing them doing it? Like, is it one of those things?
Listen, AI is phenomenal these days. Okay, who knows? They probably have a whole new song that's Prince, but it's not Prince.
Yeah, I think that would be the one. The Up House, the X-Men '97 house seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or like Avengers, Tony Stark's house would be a good one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Disney ones. But I just thought that was interesting.
I like it.
I'm more into the Up House is cool, but I'm more into the experiences, I think, than staying in the houses.
Yeah, me too. That's why like the two that stuck out the most on the list. I mean, when you say Prince, that's more of an experience too, but I didn't hear that originally. Yeah. So that's really cool. But Kevin Hart and Doja Cat are like, come on.
Oh, Kevin, I think it's just like a private show with Kevin Hart.
Hilarious.
And in my head, I imagine it's like you and like your family and Kevin Hart doing a show, which seems awesome.
Listen, Sir Hart, can you just roast my family, please? That's all I want.
I haven't watched that, by the way, the Tom Brady roast. Have you?
No. So I watched clips of it. Like I said, I was out of town, so it came out like right when I was leaving, and it's been the talk of the town. I'll say that. Like, even with the people I was around, they're like, have you watched it yet? I'm like, dude, I'm in a hotel room and I've been out until 1 a.m. every day. No, I have not watched it. I saw some of the clips, man. It's funny. It's no holds barred.
Yeah. I have to watch it because like you said, everybody is talking about it. Mm-hmm. And I was concerned. I was like, it could be kind of lame, right? Like, is Tom Brady really going to want to be like, what's off limits here? Apparently nothing was off limits.
Yeah, and other people aren't happy, but Tom Brady doesn't seem to give a crap. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Some people aren't happy that, my opinion, don't have a right to not be happy, but that's life, I guess. Could you ever be roasted?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, and if you invite me to a roast, you better expect I'm roasting everybody there. you do not show up to a roast unless you expect to be made fun of.
Yeah,
it's a rule.
I guess I could do it. I don't know. I don't think I could be the roaster.
I could be both.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm that kind of funny.
I don't know if I'm that kind of funny. I just would get up there and be mean.
I love that.
I think it's timing though. Like, a lot of it is timing. It's just the delivery of it. You say something really mean, but say it in a certain tone with a certain delivery, and it's money. It's hilarious. You know, like when you tell Tom Brady that his new wife's ex-boy or boyfriend can not only eat her butt, but also kick his butt. Like, that's not proper, but it's, you know, when delivered properly, people die.
Wild, man. Wild. Next thing I had, so this was a big week for me.
Yeah.
There was an Apple event this week. I live for these days. I'm all into it, as you know. Big technology guy.
I was actually thinking this, and I want to hear this story. But you tweeted something about like the camera on the. So I know you're gonna get into it. You are such an Apple fanboy. I just want to call this out, and now you can continue. But
yes, but I will criticize them when needed.
I just felt like you were really defending them, and I was like, who gives? I
wasn't defending them. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Ironically, I am kind of going to defend this ad they made.
Let's go.
I don't know if you've seen it. It was on Twitter because apparently it's my feed, I guess, kind of has this group of people, the tech people. So it was an iPad event for anybody who doesn't know. And this ad they made is offending people.
Go ahead.
So there's a hydraulic press and they have instruments, basically everything an iPad can do. That's the idea, right? We're taking music, art, all these different things, games, and they crush it all into an iPad, which the message is obviously the iPad can do all of this. And they use the hydraulic press because it's the thinnest Apple product ever. So I thought, hey, that's a pretty creative ad. People are super offended by this, apparently. They're mad that Apple wasted all of these things, which we don't even know if it's real. Like, that could have all just been computer generated.
Yeah.
Apparently, people in Japan are offended by it because they view instruments as... They I don't want to say worship instruments, but I don't have a better term at the moment. Sacred, I guess.
Okay.
And other people are just mad that they're just mad that they wasted all of these things.
Yeah.
And I was like... I don't want to be that guy where we're like, are we offended by everything?
I'll be that guy
these days.
I 100% be that. There are other things you can be offended by. That is not something that you really need to wave a flag over.
Like the Japan thing is that's not my culture. I don't, it is what it is. Also, though, Apple is an American company.
I was gonna say, is that commercial playing in Japan? Because if not, it's not. It ain't for you, buddy.
But like, they want Apple to apologize for this, and I'm like, this is creative in a world where like minimalism is taking over, and like I like minimalism to an extent, right? Like minimalistic stuff is cool, but like when it comes to an ad, it's such a creative ad, and I'm upset that we can't just allow people to be creative anymore. And the roast also made me kind of think of this, because comedy is another thing where it's like, you can't, like, that's got to be one of the toughest jobs in the world these days, is a comedian.
I think the thing is, like, you're right. Like, people want to be offended over so many things. And I think I said this before, probably last year. It was early on in our podcast life, right? Like, what a miserable life. Like, why do you want to be so upset about so many little things? Yeah. There's listen, there are some things, if you want to post on your social media all day long about some horrific things going on in the world, it sucks. But I'm going to be like, yeah, I get why you're upset. But like other things, like you care that people are smashing inanimate objects? Who cares?
Yeah. Like you said, there are things to be, like there are people that are offensive people. Sure. And things that are offensive, and things that people say that are offensive. But like, especially like when you're talking about a product that is supposed to be geared towards creative people. Yeah. It's the whole purpose of this product. Yeah. They made like a really creative ad. I'm like, oh, that's it's because lately for like product reveals, they've just been like, oh, here's a dark screen and product appears. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that sucks. It's lame. It's not as exciting. Yeah. This was cool. It's creative. And it's not a big deal.
Wasn't it Apple back in the day that like they had a similar ad, not a similar ad, but like they broke a TV or something like that when they released one? I'm going back to like the 80s.
Oh, I wouldn't.
It was like Macintosh or something where they threw something through a screen or something.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. But like I just like when these kind of things interest me. Like this probably isn't even that interesting to anybody else. But like I'm so interested by just like creativity and things like that.
Dave's tech thing of the week.
Yeah. I did buy the iPad. So there's that.
There you go.
No, I just was wondering if it was just a me thing where I'm like, this isn't offensive at all, and I don't understand. Like, legitimate people are like, they want Apple to come out and release a statement and apologize. I'm like, we can't do this. We have to draw a line somewhere when it comes to these things.
Goodness gracious. Do you want to talk about being old? Because now I'll go on another rant about how when I grew up, like there were things that happened on TV at wrestling shows that looking back, it was like, holy crap.
I love when you go on rant. So if you want to, go ahead.
No, it's all right. I'm in a different season of life.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not.
Season of life. That's the theme of the episode. So sticking to technology, you mentioned me defended Apple. So today I put out a tweet about it's the laptop. I was like, what's the noise? I cranked the fans up. It's getting kind of toasty.
Is this an Apple?
It is.
Okay. Just making sure we're staying on brand.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's called brand loyalty. A lot of you guys don't know what that means anymore.
I do have brand loyalty. I won't even put you in my text message if you have green bubbles.
I'm not gonna lie, I will, but
we're gonna have a separate text message without you. A group message without you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little like weird about it. Like, I don't like this.
And we're also gonna point it out. Like that's a general rule of if I
have to read a text that says so and so like this message, I'm offended.
Yeah, yeah. I also am offended, and I might delete your number and block you until you wise it up. So, sticking with technology, you mentioned that I defended Apple or whatever.
Yeah.
People are with this iPad again. It used to have two camera lenses. They took one off.
Okay.
People are also upset about that. Not like offended, like people who buy the iPad, I guess, are just mad that they took a camera off. And my reaction was, why are you taking a picture with your iPad? And I would like to just kind of help. And Rel pointed out that I've never been to a wedding where somebody's 60-year-old aunt.
You talk bad about Miss Ethel. Okay.
Yeah. So I would just like to help out the older generation or those who are technologically impaired and maybe give some rules or advice on technology for the older crowd if you help me out here.
Come on with it.
With some things. Number one, we're going with never take pictures with your iPad or show up to an event with your iPad and get in people's way and trying to. If you show up to my house taking pictures with an iPad, you will be asked to leave the premises. You're banished from my home. Do not take pictures with your iPad. No one is taking pictures with an iPad of like a certain age.
Yeah.
Like the older generation.
I think years ago you saw it more. You probably don't see it anymore. But I'll let you continue your rant because I agree.
Yeah. It's just like this. It's like this. It's basically holding this up.
Take a picture with a laptop.
Right. And that's not even getting into the fact that the cameras on it aren't good. It's huge.
Just wait for our next skit when we're holding up a flat screen TV, pretending we're taking pictures. It's going to be great.
It's just one of these things where I'm like, you're saying I'm defending Apple, which I guess maybe I'm defending their decision to take the camera off. But It's really just me saying, who is taking... No one is taking pictures with their iPad to an extent that they're that mad.
Yeah.
And anybody who owns this iPad, because it's like a $1,500 iPad, you have an iPhone, and you probably have the best iPhone, which the camera on that is 10 times better than the iPad, and it's more convenient. No, we're not mad about the camera going off the iPad.
Okay.
Stop taking pictures with your iPad.
We're not mad about it.
We're not. Okay. Another rule of thumb for the older generation: never use speakerphone in public.
I'm laughing so hard because I decided I was going to take public transportation in Atlanta back to the airport because I heard it was the easiest way to get from where I was, and it was pretty easy. But I get on, and there was an older gentleman who I'm thinking is like 40, but he's got Rick Ross. Just loud as can be. And then his phone rings, and I'm waiting. I'm watching him. I'm like, is he going to answer on speakerphone? I'm so excited. I want to listen to this whole conversation. But he didn't. So I'm like, okay, where do we draw the line here?
Yeah, well, so I say don't use speakerphone in public. It does extend to don't watch YouTube videos fully blasted. Now, if you're scrolling through social media or something, there's a quick TikTok length video, but you can't have the volume cranked up. It's got to be where you can like put it like this. You kind of watch it out the corner of your eye, but also listen to it kind of thing.
Let's be respectful.
Respectful. Yes, be respectful of others. Also, it's a FaceTime, so show me your face, not your ear. Okay? Yeah. When I FaceTime you, listen, it's usually a different ringtone. There's a way to tell what's what. If you see me, I'm FaceTiming you. Just,
You know what's interesting? I think you might catch some flack for that one. I feel like this is also an older thing on our part. I feel like the younger generation, they'll FaceTime each other and they'll literally hit FaceTime and put their phone down and just talk to one another, like while they're getting ready, like girls while they're getting ready, or like I've seen dudes do it too, like call their boy and like put the phone down, and I'm like, dude, what? Like,
why?
You could just like I just don't get it.
That's odd. I
don't get it.
That's odd. I don't like that.
Seasons of life.
Yeah, seasons of life. What's another one I have here? There's a lot of fake accounts out there that are making up quotes that people said. So before you share it on Facebook, because let's be honest, that's where you're at. You're not on Twitter. You're on Facebook. So before you share it or anything, check with a loved one and just say, hey, is this real? Preferably a younger loved one. Like, hey, did Barack Obama really say this?
Yeah. Or just think logically. That could work.
Well, listen, there's some good fake accounts out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Twitter world is totally different. Everybody's got a blue check. Also, there's like Adam Schefter, but then there's Adan Schefter.
Yeah.
They get you.
Yeah. Years ago, there was a couple where I was like, ooh.
But now people have even gotten so good. Like you said, AI is a dangerous game. People have even gotten so good with like press conferences that they can make it seem like they're really saying these things at press conferences. You gotta be careful. So just check with a loved one before we share it, especially if it's controversial. It's for your own good. The last thing I had, and then you can kind of chime in here. It's kind of along those lines. No matter how many times they call, you didn't win the 5-night cruise to South America. The email about the $500 Amazon gift card, probably too good to be true. Mm-hmm. What else? The IRS isn't trying to contact you. Like all these things, they're probably too good to be true. Listen,
IRS is sending letters.
If you hear IRS, just hang up. Like you don't want to answer that call anyway. Just avoid it. So, just again, check with a loved one. That's all. I'm just trying to look out for the technologically impaired here.
I respect it. I definitely respect it. I know some folks like that, and things get shared, or just randomly as I'm driving in a truck, I get the question, "Hey, I was watching TikTok the other day. Did you know?" And I'm like, "What's coming? I can't wait. What's about to come across my plate?" I love you though. I really do. You know who I'm talking about.
This is something my grandma thanks me for all the time. Like keeping her, like understanding technology. Like she gets the new iPhone with me every year. Mm-hmm. She has me like teach her anything new that comes out. She's always interested because she wants. Like my grandma understands technology more than my mom, and probably more than like my sister. So it's something I'm proud of that I've kept the elderly in my life technologically, like up to date.
Yeah,
I'm proud of it.
She ain't whipping out an iPad.
She does have an iPad, but she will not take a picture with it.
Right. She's not like recording like little Timmy's graduation with an iPad.
No, because she has common sense. Mm-hmm. Okay? That if I had been at my wedding and somebody was walking around with an iPad, I'm telling you, I would have broken it.
Yeah, that's rough.
Do you have any other rules of life that can help the...
No, you know what? I had thoughts. I was in the airport. So first of all... Wow. People are just unaware. That's the overall encompassing thing, and it goes to all of this too. So many human beings are just unaware. And what a life. I want to be unaware. I really do want to be unaware. Like I just want to not realize that I cut 50 people in line, or I'm just being super disrespectful, and like, it's insane. Anyways,
You don't want to elaborate?
no, airports are just crazy, man. It's like people walk around like with their head down and like running into people, or like they just stop. Like we talked about the grocery stores, like just stopping in front of people, and like, or people like anytime someone's put in a position where they don't quite know what to do, or they haven't done it before, it's like they lose all sense of reality, and they're like a deer in headlights. And it's like, what? Can you just like pay attention to what's going on around you? Maybe move to the side if you got to figure life out. Like, let's get it together. I just, yeah, man. I love human beings, and I pray for everyone. I don't know. I'm trying to be a better Christian here, and I'm not doing a good job right now.
We've kind of blown through all my topics here, though.
Yeah, well, that was one of mine. I'm not gonna lie, and I just don't know what to say about it.
That was my life this week. Really, I'm old.
Yeah,
but I'm also venting about the old, about people who are old.
You're like right in the middle.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle. It's great.
It's called a midlife crisis.
No, not yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's coming. I don't think I'm gonna have a midlife crisis.
I think I already have.
I'm just like,
honestly, like,
what am I gonna be stressing about? I guess
nothing more than I'm stressing about now. That's for sure.
Right, like I don't know that I'll have like a set time. I think my entire life is just a crisis. Like, I don't think it's gonna be the middle of my life. I think it was the beginning, the middle, and the end.
The David Raven story, a life in crisis.
Every day is stressful.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it's not just gonna be my mid-30s.
Yeah. This can't be the same Earth that my grandparents lived on. Like, right. The new information I find out every day. There's no way. News didn't travel that fast back then. You had to have a carrier pigeon or a horse and carriage or something. Like,
I know this is like between us, but you mentioned TikTok earlier and people going on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think about that video you sent me about the guy with the coordinates at least once a day.
I wish I could remember it.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just like, ooh, if you change the coordinates, it goes to this part of the earth. Yeah. And the guy's like, it's a fucking grid system, bro.
Yeah. Just people that go to, listen, I love a good conspiracy theory. I love a good rabbit hole, but I also love someone who will just tear it to shreds and be like, come on, man.
Oh, yeah. I think about, like, I go back and watch that anytime I need to laugh. It gets me every time. If I can find a way to share it on Twitter, I'm going to, because it's the best. That's all the, like, topics I had. We do have like a couple listener things that are sports related. I have a top 5 for us that we can finish with. Actually, I have 2. I'm going to let you choose between the 2 of them.
All right.
Okay.
Love a good top 5.
We're at 30 minutes.
Time check.
Right now. Do you want to do these listener ones and then go top 5?
Sure. I don't even know what they are. I've been so out of it. So these are all going to be thoughts from the dome. Hopefully you get fast talking Patty.
Yeah. So we're starting to get to the point now, this is a good thing. We're getting a lot of them, and we kind of have to pick and choose.
Okay.
Now, of course, on weeks where we don't have anything to come with ourselves, we will use all of them. This week, I had a couple things to talk about. So I took a couple. Both of them are local sports topics.
A word.
The first one is...
In the off season? Well, sort of. Continue.
In the off season, yeah. But we are starting to ramp up. I've been doing Dynasty. This is another thing. And then we can get into this. I'm in a bunch of Dynasty leagues, right? Mm-hmm. And I, for the life of me... Like I
cannot remember. Sorry, good.
You want go continue?
We were merely freshmen.
Okay. So I am generally an impatient person. Like I like things to just get done when I want them to be done, right? But then I run into these people that I'm in these dynasty leagues with, and they are getting thoroughly upset that we aren't finished the draft in the second week of May. That is a different level of impatience.
I have a thought. Because the public may not... We've probably talked about this before. The fact that you guys give like a week per pick or something like that, or however long it is a little obnoxious. It does not take that long. Also, these drafts should be an event. Make it an event. Make it fun.
This league is hard. Everybody's... It's not a league where it would be easy to get people together. I do have leagues. You know, I have the one where we get together.
Yeah,
we actually have 2 that we try to get together. But these dynasty leagues, Dynasty leagues are different, though. It's like it's only 4 rounds in the draft. Okay, so we don't put a timer on the. This one took 3 days. We don't put a timer on it. We did it for the weekend, but like sometimes you do it in the week. Like people have jobs, right? So like most people don't have like us where we can check our phone during the workday.
Sure.
Right. So it's like, but they're getting so upset. It's been like 2 hours. Dude, chill the fuck out. It's 8 p.m. Like they might be asleep. What are you in such a rush for to finish this draft? You're gonna stare at your roster for 6 months until August? Like, what are we doing?
Maybe they're concerned. Some things are gonna change. Their players are gonna be more. The ones they want are gonna be more in demand.
This is the thing. Listen. I've had this debate off of our group chat for these leagues, and I'm just like, if you draft this guy now when he gets hurt a month at training camp or whatever, you're gonna be pissed. Like, we could just wait until August, and then
we do. To be fair, my dynasty league, we wait,
right, and then you don't have this issue where people are taking 2 days to make a pick because the season starts in a week and they have to pick their team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Now I get the idea of wanting to trade and things in a dynasty league, but it's all right. I'm just gonna stop because I could go on for days about this. I love all the leagues I'm in. To be fair, I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way because I've gotten out of all the leagues I don't enjoy. I love all the leagues I'm in, but you guys frustrate me sometimes, and I think it's fair. Anyway, back to our listener topics. First one is a Tulane question.
Okay.
Roll wave.
Can I still do the?
I don't know.
Like it hurts. It hurts a little, but it's okay.
Let us know in the comments if we can still do that. Outside of quarterback, what Tulane player do you see being a huge part of the post-Pratt Fritz era? I have thoughts on this if you just want me to.
Yeah.
So, for me, I don't think outside in college football, I don't think there necessarily is one position outside of quarterback that can be that much of a difference maker. Sometimes, like you could have a Reggie Bush at running back, right? That like that level. If it is an elite talent. Yeah, I think it can make a difference. But outside of
or just about in, or if you are like just one of those top power programs like Bama, who was running without a quarterback for a while and just always plugged some random dude in, like maybe.
I saw somebody in replies say Mekhi Hughes. Sure.
Yeah.
But for me, there is no one player, and that's kind of a cop out. I think to give an answer to this, the most important thing is we've seen this momentum they have with the transfer portal and things like that. I think the most important thing for me is for them to find a good balance between recruiting classes and transfer portal. This year is different because it's it's his first year. He comes in mid-cycle or whatever. I just hope there's the transfer portal is great, but I don't want them to do this Dion thing where they're just full. Like Dion had like 4 recruits.
Yeah,
I think what I'm trying to say is build a program, build a sustainable program, develop players. I think that's more important than any one. Now the quarterback, to be clear, is the most important. Like one of these 3 guys, 4 guys, whatever it is, has to hit, or it's just not going to work.
Right.
But for me, building a sustainable program and developing the guys, getting guys to want to stay, not landing a big recruit and then a year later him being like, meh, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, that's my answer. I know it's kind of a cop out. It doesn't really answer the question.
Yeah, it doesn't answer the question. I was thinking that. I was like,
but I
feel like we've had that talk before. The whole like recruiting versus, well, they're both recruiting, but transfer portal versus.
That's just what I think is. If you're asking me, essentially, what is gonna lead them to success, I think that's it. I can't think of any one player outside of quarterback. Maybe you can.
I'm also gonna go. I'm gonna go out of left field here. This isn't a cop out at all. And it's not necessarily his play on the field, although I think that's gonna play into it. It is Shaz Preston, and it's because
that was also in the replies.
He's one of the top recruits or transfers, obviously, but he's also played a pivotal role in getting other really good guys to transfer here. Now, to your point, you play the transfer portal game, you're gonna have some wins, you're gonna have some losses. Hopefully, you can keep those guys once they get here. It's gonna get interesting. I love the transfer portal.
Me too.
I think that you have a viable path through the portal and through recruiting. I think you need a good balance. We talked about that. Yeah, but I'm going Chaz.
That's fair. I think to your point, him being a high level recruit like he was coming in, if he has success here, it shows not even just him, Mario Williams, like all those guys that they brought in, right? Really, almost every receiver they have it starts with Keith Brown because he was the first, really.
Yeah. Well, they had other guys who came in that were supposed to be pretty solid, and they've already had to transfer out because they probably weren't going to have a lot of playing time, or maybe not even. I don't know.
I guess
speak bad about them.
When you put it that way, it makes me, because I'm kind of out in my head. I'm really just thinking like on the field, and I'm just like, there's not really on the field. I don't think one player that can, like, yeah. If Chaz is really good on the field, obviously the team is better because of it. But like, is that one wide receiver going to do? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But when you mention off the field like that, I do tend to agree that if somebody of his caliber can come to Tulane, and have success and kind of knock off that reputation. Not that Tulane has a bad reputation, just like that small school reputation. Like, especially if he can have a good season, get drafted, things like that. I mean, I don't know how many years he's got left, but you know what I mean. Have a good Tulane career, get drafted. That, you're right. That could have a huge lasting effect.
Yeah, I think so. I agree, though. I agree that like you're not going to pick a wide receiver as the guy that's going to have the most impact on the field. Now, if he does, holy crap! Like, what a season, right?
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm looking at the intangibles and some other things. So
I think Mekhi is a good answer also.
Yeah.
From that perspective.
Yeah,
because he's a guy that chose to stay. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure he could have left and gone somewhere if he wanted to, but like if he plays out his whole career here. And he's another one. Like, I'm not going to just have success and then go bounce to a Power 4 school or something like that, right? Like, all these big name guys, if they can stay, I'm struggling here.
You need the water tonight.
You're right. But my point is, I agree with you. When you put it that way, I agree with what you're saying. I wasn't necessarily thinking of it that way. I was more so just thinking on the field. Big brain.
Think off the wall. Yeah, big brain.
But to be clear, I think the answer is like Ty Thompson.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be. Like,
if we could have the quarterback conversation.
Or somebody else just really steps up.
Yeah.
Which would be crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The next one was a hot take from Zach again. He wants to remind you specifically that these are hot takes. I guess maybe you were...
Does that mean like I'm not allowed to disagree and think it's dumb?
I don't know.
I appreciate a good hot take. Don't get me wrong. And I want you to keep sending them. But if I think it's dumb, I'm going to say it's dumb.
Well, how do you feel about this one? The Saints are winning the NFC South with Derek Carr being a top 5 quarterback in the league.
It's definitely a hot take. Like, no. Just no.
No to they're not winning the...
No.
The NFC...
No, they could win the NFC South. Derek Carr will not be a top 5 quarterback in the league. You could have said 15 and I'd be like, yeah, for sure. Not a hot take. But to his point, this is a hot take.
Zach, there's a difference between hot takes and throwing shit out there.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things. The win of the NFC South, not a hot take at all.
You could say it's a hot take,
I
but
guess,
I mean,
but that's not going to surprise anybody. I don't.
If you would have told me, it's more of a hot take to me, and it's more believable to me to say the Saints are winning the NFC South and Derek Carr gets benched before the end of the season. That is a hot take.
I was going to bring this up because we haven't talked about it on here since it happened, and since we're talking Saints, we might as well talk about this and then get into our top 5. The Saints have another quarterback now.
Jesus.
And I'm only bringing it up because I know your feelings about Spencer Rattler. Peel back the curtain here. Before the draft, in our The Know Discord, shout out to everybody in the know. Everybody's throwing out late round quarterbacks, right? That they'd be interested in taking. And the one guy that Patty said he wanted nothing to do with was Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
And the football god said, "Here you go, Patty."
They said, "We're about to prove you wrong, buddy."
So, I mean, do you want me to give my thoughts on it first, or would you like to just? Where do you stand now after you've had a couple weeks to digest it?
It's I think I almost started coming around to it more before we actually made the pick, because I started thinking of the possibility that we could actually pick him, and I was already talking pretty loudly.
Can I clarify something just real quick?
Yeah.
To be fair to you, you didn't say when I threw out the idea of taking him. I think I may have actually said, like, if it was 5th round, and you were like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Yeah, 5th round, whatever.
Yeah,
is what I said.
He said he didn't want him in, like, because at the time it was like 2nd round talk.
Yeah,
and you were like, nah.
I was like, hell no.
So
don't you
sorry,
dare.
continue.
Yeah, which, I mean, some pundits were saying he was the next best guy on the board, and he was definitely not that many picks worse than Bo Nix. I don't think he's worse than Bo Nix, I'll be honest with you, but that's a whole nother argument. I think Bo is overrated. But where I stand now is I am a Saints fan through and through, and I will talk myself into anything, just like I talked myself into Marquez Callaway being a number 1 wide receiver and Jameis Winston leading us to the promised land. I talked myself into Derek Carr being just good enough to get us into the playoffs. Neither one of those things happened. Spencer Rattler is a high-ceiling quarterback. He has every tool you could possibly want.
Yes.
So taking a shot on a guy like that in the 5th round, whatever. Sign me up.
I will say it's the most excited I've been about, like, one of these dart throw quarterbacks that they've taken, because, like, people may not remember, he was a projected not 1st round pick, number 1 overall pick when he was at Oklahoma. Yeah, like, and a lot of people are saying he fell because of, like, his attitude in high school. It was from like everything.
It has come with him. Like, people still think of that.
Yeah, which, listen, that's high school. Yeah. And I think even from, like, little videos you've seen, I don't think is he probably still going to have a little bit of, like, that Baker Mayfield cockiness to him? Sure. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I don't mind that at all. But, like, I think his arm is different than any, maybe not, like, Derek Carr might make some throws that he can make, but when you're talking Jake Hader, he's not making Spencer Rattler type throws. He's okay. Not. There is 100% gonna be 2-3 moments in the preseason where he makes a throw and we're like, oh
yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy.
It happened with one game with Jameis. That Jacksonville game, I thought we had a quarterback for the next 10 years. I swear. So I am all in on this, and we can briefly touch on this, the Michael Pratt thing, because Michael Pratt was available, obviously, when they took him. And I just want to say, like, listen, it's not, number one, I think, and I've said this, and anybody can disagree, that's fine. I said from the beginning I thought Michael Pratt should have stayed another year. Now, I think if he had, it wouldn't have been at Tulane. I think it would have been somewhere else. Yeah. People will probably disagree with that as well, but I think he tried to leave the year before. So, like, there's, it is what it is. Yeah. Different conversation. But when you're talking 5th round quarterback, I think you're, like you said, a guy with a high ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say we've seen Michael Pratt's ceiling, because he's still he's still younger. Yeah. And you get under the right coach and in the right system. Now, he went to, like, arguably the best like quarterback drafting franchise. I just think, and then you can go, when you're in the 5th round like that, I think you'd rather take a swing on a guy like Spencer Rattler, whose ceiling is number 1 overall pick.
To the roof. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the likelihood of either one of them being good is pretty low. Yeah. Right. So I think if you're going to take the swing,
traditionally for a 5th round quarterback. Yeah.
Right. If you're going to take the swing, I think you take the swing on the guy that has the higher ceiling. Listen, if Michael Pratt wasn't at Tulane, nobody would feel this way. Like, nobody in our fan base would feel the way they feel that they passed on Michael. If Michael Pratt was
West Virginia's
quarterback, they'd be like,
okay.
Yeah. So
great. I'm glad I got Spencer Rattler.
And it's also because Spencer Rattler had, like, a negative, like, the name Spencer Rattler just came with, like, a negative connotation.
It did. I agree, and I was not very loud about it before the draft, but I was not in on Michael Pratt, not even in the 5th round. Like, dead honest. And that's not a knock on him. It was just a knock on his last season. I think him as a quarterback, he has a lot of the mental tools and intangibles you want. These are 2 different conversations we're having. Spencer Pratt, you look at him and it's like, good God.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, sorry, Spencer Pratt. Let me just combine the two. Actually, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler, if you look at him, it's like, good God, he's got the arm, he's got the mobility, he's got basically everything you want in a quarterback from the physical tools aspect. You question some other things, you're unsure about some other things, but who knows? Michael Pratt, you look at him, it's like, man, he makes quick decisions, he makes good decisions, he's got just enough mobility. Like, there's a couple things you like, but it's like, what's his ceiling? So if I could combine the two, I'm in love. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely was like questioning how far he takes you.
Yeah.
I made the comment, and Tulane fans might hate this. I made the comment off camera. You draft Michael Pratt, you already have him on the roster. What's the point? You got Jay Kaner. Maybe I eat those words. I hope I eat those words, to be honest. Well, maybe not. I hope Jay Kaner's better than everybody, and just, who knows?
That's the thing. I'm pulling for whoever they draft, whoever they sign. I would have been the biggest Nathan Peterman fan if I had to.
No, you wouldn't.
Listen, if
game after, trust me.
No, I mean, what I mean is, yeah. But what I mean is, like, if he was good, and if he all of a sudden took a magical leap, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, great. I don't care. It's the same situation with Jameis. Like, people just hated Jameis because he was Jameis. It's like, dude, I don't care. If he's good, like, yes. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. I just need a good quarterback. So, yeah, the Michael, just to put a bow on Michael Pratt thing, I said from the beginning I thought his ceiling was Alex Smith.
Which is great.
Yeah, but that was before last year. And for me, last year didn't change my opinion of him really from like a talent thing. I just thought I was looking at him to take a step next year.
Yeah, that's what concerned me.
And now he had the injuries,
Which is another knock on him for me, is that they tend to pop up.
Yeah. Now, it is the way he plays, right? Like, if he would learn to just not take the hits and things like that, maybe they go away. Like, I do think Michael Pratt can be like a successful backup in the league, but I don't know.
I honestly, like, dead serious, I hope he takes the job from Jordan Love. I hope he's just that good.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't.
Yeah. Listen, we love Michael Pratt over here, and I hope Michael Pratt goes on to have an amazing career.
Also a phenomenal guy. Like,
yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better leader. So, and those are the intangible things I'm talking about. He's got all the intangibles. Right.
But if you want to, I don't know, knock us for not wanting Michael Pratt, that's fine. Let's finish with our top five.
Just ruin our Tulane fan base.
It is. Listen, I've said this before. We're gonna be like realist about our teams. We're not sure. We'll joke with some bias here and there, right? Like, and have some fun. But like, I'm gonna be real about it. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm not gonna say somebody's better than they actually are if I don't think they are good, just for the sake of like keeping a following.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Let's finish with our top five. I got two options here, and I'm gonna let you choose. Okay. They're maybe the same, maybe not. We can either do top five foods after a drunken night out. So like you're walking back to your car, you're heading home. The top five foods you would want.
Yeah.
Or we can do top five foods that never miss. Maybe a little crossover there, but I do think it is two different lists.
I would rather do after. Yeah. Man.
Now, whatever one we don't do this week, we can put off till next week. So it's not like it's now or never for these. So just pick one.
Top five foods that never miss is a very controversial one because, like, who knows? Every food could miss. People have messed things up before. I know the number one pick, though. So, yeah.
Personally, I think Drunk Night Out could be more fun of a list here.
All right, let's do it.
So, I'll let you go first. Go ahead. Let's start with five. Like, I know it's been a while since we've done this.
Oh my goodness! And now I'm like put on the spot. I got to think through all these random drugs. So listen, this is on the spot. No prep.
Yeah.
Take it for what it is.
I used to come in with a list with these. I don't have a list.
Yeah, I have a number one. There's a number one. All right, drunken night out, coming home. Taco Bell, number five. It's got to be on the list.
Okay, are we doing specific foods?
You can do, well, I am probably going to jump around.
Okay.
I'm going Taco Bell.
Fair.
Also, Taco Bell's the type of place, it doesn't really matter what you order. Just throw something in the bag and let me go.
Got it. All right. So I'll do on that note, I'm going to go with a restaurant also. It's a local restaurant. I'm going Melba's. You ever had Melba's?
I have not, actually. I've heard great things.
Just kind of one of those things where they just have everything. And it's just like whatever you want from a night out. It's a hot, nice meal. Just, I would go get, I like their gumbo. So I just get like a gumbo and like a little half rack of ribs. That was like my go-to meal.
After a night out?
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Number 4, I'm going to go, and I have no idea what I'm doing 3 and 2, but number 4, I'm going to go with like some type of breakfast. I would say Waffle House or something like that because it's like Greasy Spoon, but it doesn't have to be. It could be any breakfast from anywhere. It could be at home. I'll make breakfast at home sometimes. But like bacon and eggs or any combination of breakfast is just phenomenal.
I like that. My number 4, I don't eat this like ever anymore. But if I am drunk after a night out, McDonald's is usually one of the only things open by the time I'm coming home.
Yeah.
So McDonald's, and it can be hit and miss because at that time of night you're either getting fresh fries because they don't have any ready, or you're getting the worst fries. And that's really what I'm going for here. It's just like a good McDonald's fry to like sober me up a little bit, you know? So McDonald's, specifically McDonald's fries, or like a nice like 20-piece nugget and some fries.
There it is. Oh, there's so many options here, man. There's so many options. What's next on the list? Gotta be like some type of really greasy like cheeseburger. Like back in the day, just frequenting Metairie, like a swamp burger or something like that. Swamp Room burger. That was always a move. If we're in New Orleans, we used to go to Yo Mama's a lot, which I was about to say, you were down there. You used to work down there.
Yeah.
You know about that place. I don't even know if they still exist anymore.
They don't. People used to rave. I never had it. People used to rave about it. Was like a peanut butter jalapeno burger.
Yeah, I never had it.
Me either.
But I went there a lot.
Everybody that had it says it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Yeah.
It's for people who don't know, it was very like Portugal-ish, like that style of burger.
Yeah. Yeah, it was phenomenal. Beach Corner, if we're talking like, what was that, Mid-City area? That's pretty good. Bunch of good burgers in the city, to be honest.
Yeah. My number 3, you said Taco Bell. My number 3 is just tacos. Like, just give me some tacos.
I almost picked tacos again, even though I already said Taco Bell. I was like, man, like a shrimp taco? You can't get that at Taco Bell.
Dude, just a taco, like, I don't know. Just something about a taco on a night, after a night out, just slaps. And it could be chicken, beef, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just give me a tacos.
I love that. I've already... Number 2.
There's a lot of overlap with our picks here.
There is going to be
a lot
overlap.
of general
That's
stuff,
okay. That's okay. Number 2 for me is actually gonna be a little bit of overlap with the Taco Bell I already said, and with your taco pick just now. It's actually something I got my first night in Atlanta after a night out. I get back to the hotel and I'm looking through DoorDash and I'm like, I just want some Mexican food. I did get tacos, but the thing I'm actually picking is going to be just like loaded nachos. Just come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah, 100%. I am going with like if you're out in New Orleans, you know what I'm talking about. Just New Orleans street food.
Yeah.
Like those people that just, if you go to Frenchman and they just set up on the corner and they're like, $10 will get you a plate for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's usually burgers. I think the last time I went, it was like a rib on a stick.
Yeah.
Like it's usually just a
and
meat.
If it's late enough at night, you said $10 and get food for everybody. Sometimes it's like, listen, I got this left.
Well, when we went,
give me whatever you got.
Right, you were with me, right? When
When
we went out that time, I was like, "How much for everything that's left?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know if anybody else wants something, but if not, I'm gonna eat it."
Yeah, I'll eat it all. It's fine.
I was like, I think I walked up with a 20. I was like, "I got $20. What can you give me?" Listen, there is no set. Don't let them lie to you. There is no set price on those things when it's the end of the night. They are trying to get rid of everything.
Yeah.
If you say, "I got $10," they probably just could feed everybody.
Yeah.
and it's so good.
I love that.
I have now. Listen, it could be because I'm drunk, but I've never had a bad meal from any of those.
No, you're right.
Ever.
I'm talking street vendors everywhere too. It doesn't even have to be New Orleans.
Yeah.
Now, granted, New Orleans is my you know, my heart and soul.
Dude,
so
and it's like 2 a.m. and it's like it still feels fresh. Whatever
Yeah.
they do with it, it just, and I'm sure it's not, but it still tastes great.
I ain't gonna lie. The night you were talking about, it was still sitting on a smoker, so it was still warm. But they just loaded everything down with barbecue sauce. They're like, we're gonna make sure
the
this
cheat
still
code.
tastes
Yeah.
good. Like
The later every hour you
sweet
got
baby rays
throw
all on this thing. I was like, all right, that's fine.
And what's your number one? I know my number one. I mean, neither one of us has said it yet.
My number one, you should know this, and I don't get this often. My number one, the other night I wanted this so bad, and nothing was open that had it. I was so mad. Loaded bacon ranch fries. Like, just give me all the bacon and ranch and cheese on some French fries.
This man, we were sitting at a bar, and this man was trying to DoorDash loaded bacon ranch.
I'm trying to find it, man.
Oh, that's funny. I love that. Not a bad. Listen, you just tell me loaded. I am a sucker for any type of loaded fries.
Telling you,
like
man.
you give me like some loaded like debris fries. Killer. My number one, it's pizza.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's a good choice.
like I'll go hit Vue Carré. There's so many places out there that you can just find pizza at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and it's
that goes on the other list you mentioned too. Like just food that doesn't miss.
yeah. Don't spoil that.
I know. I'm not saying what rank and all that.
Pizza.
But
Listen, I think that is always my number one choice. It's like it may just be in my head. Like there's a pizza place open somewhere. Like it was when we went to the Drake concert. For some reason, everything was closed, but there was a pizza
there's
place
always
open.
a pizza place open.
Pizza place and like a Lucky Dog in Harris. That was it.
Shout out Lucky Dog.
Yeah,
What an honorable mention.
yeah. So pizza is my number one now, and I don't at that point I don't care. Obviously, would prefer. I'm probably the type of person that I'm just gonna order myself an entire pizza. Now, am I gonna eat it all? Probably not. But when I wake up in the morning, I'm probably gonna eat the pizza again. That's the thing about why pizza is so good, because the next morning you could just have it in your hotel room or whatever. Like if you're out, somewhere, you could eat that room temperature pizza. And
Can't do that with loaded nachos. I'll tell you that much right now.
But I'll be damned if I don't try.
And I'll be honest, ain't no way I'm eating the whole thing when I'm like, listen, that's a lot of food.
Listen, when we went get pizza with me and Chad, we walked from from Aaron's hotel to God knows where in New Orleans. It was like a 30-minute walk to get this pizza because it was the only one open at 2 o'clock in the morning. I ordered a whole pizza, garlic bread, and I just smashed it. I was so hungry.
I love
Shout
that.
out, I wish I remember who it was, but I don't. But it was so good. First time I ever had them.
I love that. That's awesome.
That's a fun list.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a single food out of all of those that I'm like, yeah.
They're all solid. I really wanted to throw wings on it, but I'm like, wings is not it's not a food I normally think of when I'm like
Wings is
getting
good, but
home
it's
after
tough
a
to
night
find
out.
wings at.
Yeah, that's
late
why
at
I'm
night.
saying, like, you can't.
Melba's always has some wings.
So the reason I was going to say it, when I was in Atlanta, what I wanted to eat one night out, but I couldn't get it, we went to Moe's and Joe's, which shout out Moe's and Joe's. Anybody been to Atlanta? Moe's and Joe's is a dope-ass bar. Also have a story about it, but I don't think I can tell that on the podcast. I think I told you. Yeah, it's wild. Just, if you're looking for fun, walk in a bathroom at Moe's and Joe's on a Tuesday night, and I'll leave it at that. Politely, no. Anyways, I went there and I was trying to get wings, man, and they had just shut down. Like, we had come from a Braves game, and they had just shut down their food, and I was super bummed. Great wings.
Not a lot of worse feelings than just wanting a certain food after a night out. It is just not open.
No, I got home. I had like 2 beers there. I went home and I ordered like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich because it's all it was open.
Breakfast.
I
I didn't say breakfast wasn't on my list. That's a good pick.
It's always solid.
Shit, always a solid. I used to go to the IHOP on Canal. Sketchy as can be sometimes, but I didn't care.
Many a nights at IHOP, Denny's, Waffle House, Dot's Diner. All my guys out there. Listen, Dot's Diner was the move when I was like in my early 20s. Every night we'd be out till like 4 a.m. Dot's Diner.
I've never eaten at Dot's Diner, but so now at work we have like a little grocery store basically that has like meals that you can go. They come bring meals like every day and you can go buy them or whatever. but we used to be able to order meals from Dots. Like we'd get on our little website and we'd order meals from Dots, and they'd deliver it at the beginning of the shift. So it'd be like 6 o'clock at night. They're showing up with I think it was called like the lumberjack. It was just a thing of hash browns and eggs and bacon.
Yeah, dude.
Cheese and ham. It was great.
Yeah, they got everything too, man. They got burgers. They got all kinds of stuff. Don't get the burger at Dust Time.
Speaking of breakfast, and this is it. I tweeted this the other day, and I just want to mention it. I don't know if I was creating the North Shore brunch power rankings. I don't know who falls where, but I can tell you who's number one.
Tell them.
And it's Crazy Pig Southern Kitchen.
Hands down. Not even close.
It's not close. And that's not knocking any of these other restaurants, because there's some good ones out here. Lalu, we love Abita. Listen, Crazy Pig, if you're on the North Shore or just like in this general area looking for breakfast, brunch, great brunch, Crazy Pig, there's 2 of them, one in Covington, one in Mandeville.
Madisonville, maybe. Yeah.
Anything. Just order anything off the menu. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Just feed me. Bring me food.
So good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It also feels like you walked into like someone's grandmother's house.
That's it. That's what everything feels like, homemade.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the first time I went, so the food was phenomenal. The first time I went, the way they locked me in, we're leaving, and they had like homemade cookies just sitting at the counter, and my daughter's walking there like, "You want a cookie?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
little girl behind us was trying to go to the bathroom, so the waitress was like, "Yeah, I'll walk you over there." And she goes to get up, and she spills her chocolate milk all over her. She was all upset, of course. She comes back from the bathroom. I guess it's like the owner or the manager or whatever walks up with a plate full of cookies for her. I was like,
they just keep them on deck. They're just ready.
Yeah, I was like, no, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, 100% free too.
And listen, I haven't even had the drinks from there, and they have a list of drinks. Good. So the day I went, they had spicy jalapeno margaritas.
Ooh, I got a nickname in Atlanta. It's Patty Spice. I didn't know how to feel about it.
I don't know if I like that.
But I was like,
I'm not going to call you that.
Yeah. You know me, the spicy margarita, so I ordered one. And they're like, "Oh, Patty Spice." And I was like, I hate that made me laugh a little bit. I don't like it.
Well, that's all we got for the show this week.
That's it. Yeah, appreciate y'all. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Keep sending in topics, all that. That's fun. You know, I won't always have weeks where I want to complain and come with topics. So,
yeah.
Keep sending those in. Follow us everywhere. I ain't got nothing else. Follow Freebird Rule Pod. Final 16 of our greatest themes thing, I think, actually ends today. So
Filthy Animals are going on a run.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's a nice theme, but the fact that people know that theme and are voting on it is kind of.
I didn't know it when we started.
I like it. It's a good theme.
It is the most shocking one. There's some other things which we'll dive into on that pod. But follow that everywhere. Follow us everywhere. That's all we got.
Appreciate y'all. Till next time.
Later.
Adios.